from the title you can tell that this video is about anxiety, and this is part of my advice series. Advice is good when you guys want it, and I'll give it to you. So anyway, I was just browsing the internet last night and I came across this video of Zoella's, and last year or beyond last year, I don't know, a very long time ago, she made a video about anxiety and she made a new one, and I made a video response to the first one. And I wasn't so mature back then. I was like a little bit immature, a little bit hidden, a little bit like, you know, like I didn't really speak about much. I was a bit like closed off. So I thought being older, like I think the difference between 15 and 17 and how your mind grows up between those two ages is actually quite immense. I also want to say that Zoella is amazing at giving advice. Like, she doesn't know it, and she even mentions it herself that she's just trying to help, but she doesn't realize how good her advice is. Like, watching throughout that whole video is like 20 minutes, it's a new one, but it's definitely worth watching, so I'm going to leave an annotation to her video if you want to go and watch it, and you can click it somewhere on this screen, I don't know. You can also check the link in the description, so I'm going to put a link to her video in the description if you would like to watch it, because it is so useful and I think it has benefited a lot of people already, and it's only been up a week. I don't have a panic disorder or like that kind of disorder, like, whereas she actually has it. Like, I've just had experiences, so I'm not saying that I have this thing, I'm just saying that I've experienced some things with it, and it happens to a lot of people. It's quite common, and some people also might think they have it because they have a little bit of anxiety, but that's not true. Every single person in the world gets anxiety. It's a common human like thing. It happens to everyone. Like, for example, you might have an exam and you might get a bit anxious and like worried beforehand. That's totally normal. Things like that are completely normal. Like, stress is normal, okay? And just because you might have a lot of things that make you more stressed doesn't mean that you have a disorder. It's particularly when you're more sensitive to all these things and you just tick off and you get like panic attacks and stuff. I have had panic attacks before, and nobody's out there to tell me that I haven't had a panic attack or what they are or aren't, because once you've experienced it, you know what they are and you know how it feels. A common thing that I get when I'm about to have one is a stomach ache. So usually that's my guide. A bit sensitive to situations, like if say I was gonna meet someone, like anyone, I will start panicking beforehand for absolutely no reason, but I've learned to control it like a lot better, and I don't really have that problem anymore, but I used to quite badly. Sometimes I will be like in a really simple situation and I'll be sensitive, so like I'll start panicking just a little bit inside, and but it does go away. That's why I said I don't really have the actual disorder, and I wouldn't say I did because I don't. But yeah, I have had troubles with it before and I have had panic attacks. The only real panic attack I've ever dealt with, like when someone else has had it, is my best friend. Sorry to share this with the internet, but I'm not going to name her, so she doesn't need to feel intimidated or anything. The way I felt best to deal with it is just to stay near them, let them know that you're there, like you're not going anywhere, you're not going to leave them, and you're there to their whole assistance. Maybe ask them a few questions, let them nod or shake their head, just let them control their breathing and like focus on themselves rather than like, and try to get like everyone away from them, because it's really difficult to be around strangers when you're having a panic attack. It's actually the worst thing, because you know they're not going to understand. People are going to look at you a bit like, what, is that person okay? And it's going to make you feel a little bit intimidated. So like how I would say dealing with that is just answering to their every single need. Try and make them as comfortable as possible. If they want to go outside, take them outside. If they want to stay inside, let them stay inside. Maybe you get a few pillows and just like keep everyone away from them, make sure nobody's looking at them and there's no attention drawn to them, and make sure you're there. Make sure you don't leave them, because if you leave them then they're going to feel even more panicky and you don't want to add to the stress. That's something that is really important with panicking and stuff like that. You do not want to add to the stress. like you have triggers with, like, say something might trigger you to panic, right? What you want to do is you want to find triggers that make you calm, because that does exist. You want to find like things that like make you calm. Like maybe it might be a teddy bear, it might be absolutely anything that mentally makes you calm. Look out for that and just have that about whenever you need, and whatever's gonna make you calm, just keep it around with you. Make sure you're like able to be with a friend, someone who can accompany you. If you are quite sensitive to situations, try not be alone so much, because it can get really difficult when you're on your own and you don't know how to deal with it. Also, another big problem with society nowadays is that people don't understand that some people just are more sensitive to stress. You get those people who say, oh, it's just in your mind, like anyone can control it, like whatever. And it's true, it is your mind, you are in control of your own mind, but it's not as simple as that. If somebody really didn't want to have that problem, they wouldn't. You know, like we don't choose our problems, we're just like, I'm going to make that my problem. No, it doesn't work like that. Please don't assume that that person is just seeking attention. Like, it is a real thing. Like, don't just push it aside because they're younger or they're a female. One thing that happens with me is I have a phobia of veins and wrists. Like, I can't explain it, but when it comes to it, it will come to the point where I will panic and cry my eyes out because it scares me so much. I think that's one thing that people don't understand either. If I have a fear of veins and stuff, like, they are not gonna really understand so much why. A phobia is an irrational fear, which is the definition of a phobia, if you want to Google that. But yeah, like just things like that. Like, I think people should be more understanding of how the mind works, because we are all unique and we all work in different ways, and some of us are stronger than others. I'm not gonna lie, this year I have been much stronger of a person than I have ever been. I'm really proud of myself for that. I'm really proud that I'm a happy person and that people can define me by how happy I am. But also understand that I'm not always happy. Like, everyone gets sad, I get stressed, everyone panics and gets stressed and everything, like, you know, everyone does. I just embrace anything that makes me happy, and whatever makes me happy I just go do. I like spend most of my time busy, out. I also overthink a lot, which isn't a bad thing, because I overthink like good situations, I overthink like really interesting things, but it also means that like I overthink sad things. I keep myself occupied, I keep myself with lots of friends, I always make sure that I'm out, that I'm not alone, and like things like that. It's just really nice to be distracted and just do what makes you happy. It's not even a distraction, it's just doing what makes you happy. And once you do what makes you happy, then you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be a really happy person. Like me at the moment, because I'm so happy with life. I'm too happy with life. Like, just do your best to be happy, because it's worth it. And also, if you haven't clicked Zoella's video, I really recommend you go watch it, because I thought it was so helpful, and she's got two, so I'll link both of them down in the link description thing, but you can go watch her video, the one she most recently posted. And I'm all about helping you guys, and I'm here to help you as much as possible. Even if it's not me saying it, I will redirect you, because I really, really respect her for that. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, because it helps me out a lot. And also don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos every single Thursday, because I upload every single week, usually. And I'll see you guys next week.